Listen carefully, because this is the truth they don't want you to hear. Your body is your first weapon, your first fortress. If it's soft, fragile, weak, then your mind will be too. You cannot expect to conquer the world when you can't even conquer yourself. Every drop of sweat, every aching muscle, every moment you force yourself beyond comfort, that is where real power is born. Society feeds you lies about taking it easy, about staying comfortable. They want you soft, docile, controllable. But comfort is the slow death, pain sharpens you, discipline hardens you. Building the body is not about vanity, it's about war. The first war is with yourself, and the day you dominate your flesh is the day you start to dominate your mind. And from there, everything else falls into place. This isn't optional, this isn't a game, it's survival, it's legacy. You either build yourself or you are built by weakness. Choose. Physical strength is not just about how many pounds you can lift or how many miles you can run. It's the crucible in which your mind is forged. Every rep, every sprint, every bead of sweat spilled on the gym floor is a contract you sign with yourself. You will not break. When you push your body to its limits, you learn that discomfort is temporary, but triumph endures. The moment your muscles tremble under a heavy bar is the same moment your mind learns to stand tall under pressure. Pain becomes a familiar teacher, and discipline becomes your creed. You think mental toughness comes from reading books or memorizing pep talks. Those are warm-up exercises. Real resilience is born when you stare down the weight rack at 5 a.m., exhausted, your alarm screaming betrayal, and you silence doubt with each loaded plate you add. As the iron bends to your will, so does the chaos in your head. What once haunted you, fatigue, fear, self-doubt, begins to shrink. When your body refuses to obey, your mind steps up, whispers one more rep, and you obey. That moment, right there, is when weakness is crushed. When your lungs burn and your heart pounds like a war drum, you discover a truth. The body breaks down far sooner than the mind gives up. Anyone can quit because it's uncomfortable, but you've chosen to stand in the fire. You've decided that the pain of discipline is a discount compared to the price of regret. Every morning you lace up and chase that pain. You widen the gap between who you were and who you can become. Your mind learns that limits are illusions, that failure is a challenge to be outworked rather than an excuse to be placated. Physical strength teaches accountability. You cannot fake strength. You cannot pretend that the barbell moved under its own power. You either show up or you don't. You either embrace the grind or you get left behind. And when you hold yourself accountable in the gym, the habit seeps into every corner of your life. Deadlines that once terrified you become deadlines you conquer. Challenges that once paralyzed you become puzzles you solve. When you refuse to let your body off the hook, you refuse to let your mind off either. Think about the last time you crept out of the gym, drenched, muscles burning, a voice in your head whispering to quit. What if you had listened? You would still be exactly where you were yesterday, weak, uncertain, stuck. But you didn't. You forced yourself through one more set, caught your reflection in the mirror, and saw someone unrecognizable, someone powerful. That reflection isn't just muscle, it's confidence. It's the proof that you can do what most won't. It's the reminder that when you master physical challenges, you gain the authority to master emotional ones too. Every time your body conquers a choreographed challenge, be it a grueling circuit, a punishing interval, or a heavy deadlift, you wire your brain for victory. You train it to see obstacles as opportunities, to treat fear as fuel, to convert hesitation into action. You embed in your subconscious an indestructible belief that no matter how heavy the load, no matter how steep the climb, you have the tools to ascend. And when life inevitably hurls its own barbells, loss, disappointment, betrayal, you will be unshakable. Your mind will not waver because it has already weathered the storm of physical struggle and emerged unbeaten. The journey of building your body is a mirror of your inner journey. Each droplet of blood, sweat, and tears ceases to be collateral damage. It becomes your currency. You spend it willingly, investing in a portfolio of unbreakable willpower. You learn that your mind does not need to be coddled. It needs to be challenged. You learn that strength is not an endpoint, but a process. A relentless, daily commitment to proving to yourself that you are stronger than yesterday. So embrace the grind, welcome the burn. Seek out the weights, the sprints, the pain, because in that alchemy, physical strength is transmuted into mental resilience. You are not just lifting iron, you are lifting your mind above mediocrity. You are not just running miles, you are outrunning your doubts. The stronger your body becomes, the more your mind will demand excellence, and excellence, once tasted, becomes a hunger you will chase for the rest of your life. Weakness in the body is not a separate failure. It's the most honest barometer of weakness in the mind. Every time you choose the couch over the weights, the snooze button over the sunrise run, you're signaling to your brain that comfort is king and courage a distant second. Your muscles don't just atrophy, they broadcast a lie you tell yourself. That effort is optional, that challenge is negotiable. In that moment of surrender, your mind learns to seek the path of least resistance. It tells you that pain is insurmountable, that struggle is to be avoided, and that any discomfort is a sign you lack what it takes. Over time, those whispers solidify into a core belief: I can't. When your body trembles at the thought of lifting heavier or pushing harder, it's not just physical tremors you feel. It's the quiver of a mind that has convinced itself of its limits. Weakness in the gym bleeds into every decision you make. You see a tough negotiation and shrink because you've already taught your brain that pain equals defeat. You face obstacles in work or personal life and flinch because your body has trained your mind to recoil at anything that demands more than minimal effort. The creaking doors of missed opportunities aren't locked by others. They are locked by every moment you allowed your body to grow soft and tame. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain, the summit shrouded in storms. Your body is the vehicle that hauls your mind to the top. If the vehicle is rusted, underpowered, and unwilling to rev its engine, your mind remains grounded in fear. But if your body has been conditioned, if you've demanded more strength than comfort would allow, then your mind learns to trust itself in the face of extremes. Every mile run at dawn, every rep squeezed out in agony, writes a code of resilience into your nervous system. That code tells your mind, I am stronger than this. And once that truth is written, no mountain looks as intimidating. Weakness is a habit, and habits are cemented in the body before they are engraved in the mind. If you habitually bail on workouts, skip sprints, or quit before the barbell even shudders, you're rehearsing failure. You're giving your mind an instruction manual on how to break. And like a computer running corrupted software, your decisions in every arena, business, relationships, self, belief, will follow suit. Strength, on the other hand, is contagious. When you arm your body with endurance and power, you inoculate your mind against doubt and hesitation. You create a feedback loop. The stronger your body, the bolder your mind. The bolder your mind, the more your body demands new frontiers. This is why weakness in the body must never be tolerated. It's not vanity to insist on physical prowess, it's strategy. It's the foundation upon which strategic thinking, emotional control, and unwavering confidence are built. When you refuse to allow your body to be anything less than formidable, your mind learns that giving up is never an option. It rewires you to see obstacles as invitations to prove your capacity rather than warnings to retreat. You begin to operate from a new baseline, one where you don't wait for permission to rise, but you simply rise. And that state of mind, forged in the furnace of physical testing, becomes the engine driving every success you claim. Let your body be the daily newsroom for your mind, reporting back truthfully that you are a force to be reckoned with. Every time you push past pain, every time you reject comfort for growth, you're sending a memo to your brain that reads, weakness is unacceptable. And when your mind adopts that creed fully, when it no longer even contemplates the option of weakness, you step into a realm where fear cannot follow and hesitation cannot stand. That is the power of a strong body. It broadcasts the message of an unbreakable mind. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your razor, sharp tutor. Every ounce of discomfort you willingly embrace carves away layers of self, stepped out, leaving behind the hardened steel of autonomy. When you clamp your mind around the teeth of pain and refuse to yield, you discover a truth that few dare to face. Freedom isn't handed out by comfort, it's seized through sacrifice. The scorching burn in your lungs as you sprint up that hill, the tremor in your limbs under a heavy load, the alarm clock screaming at 4 a.m., each is an invitation to choose discipline over desire, to opt into the struggle that sets you apart. Because while the masses chase fleeting pleasures, you're committing to a life baptized in effort, and that is where true liberation lies. Discipline is the iron backbone behind every act of will. It's the voice that says yes when every instinct screams no. The steady hand that guides you through chaos without flinching. You don't negotiate with discipline, you forge it. You practice it through the small daily vows, one more rep, one more page read, one more minute under tension, one more rejection faced. In those moments, you're not simply building habits. You're erecting the pillars of your own sovereignty. You are teaching your mind that it can trust itself to follow through, even when the path is steep and uncharted. And once that trust is baptized in hardship, it becomes unbreakable. Society markets comfort as the apex of achievement, but comfort is the velvet coffin of potential. Every cushion you sink into, every shortcut you take, cordons off a piece of your willpower. True freedom rejects those cushions. It demands that you wake before dawn, that you submit to routines that suck the marrow from your bones, that you stare down the gavel of pain without flinching. And in that silent vigil, something remarkable happens. You are no longer a slave to your impulses. You learn to wield impulses as tools, to harness them rather than be harnessed by them. You gain a power so profound that no external circumstance can strip it away. Pain and discipline are the blacksmith's hammer and anvil on which your character is tempered. Each act of resistance to your own weakness is a blow of the hammer. Each moment of consistency under duress is the anvil solidifying your resolve. Over time, you accumulate not scars of defeat, but medals of conquest. You begin to recognize comfort as the first enemy of greatness, and pain as the herald of growth. You train your mind to reframe suffering, not as punishment, but as the most direct route to expansion. And expansion is freedom. Freedom from fear of failure, freedom from the opinions of others, freedom from the inertia that keeps so many chained to mediocre lives. Imagine waking every day not tethered to moods or circumstances, but guided by an inner ignition you fueled yourself. That ignition is discipline, stoked by your willingness to endure what others balk at. It's in the ritual of the morning cold shower that shocks you alive, in the repetition of movements that sculpt your body, in the mental mantra repeated while your muscles burn. I will not quit. Through pain, you claim the territory of your mind. You carve out a citadel of self-control that no external siege can breach. The freedom you gain is not a momentary high. It's a fortress you occupy for life, from which you launch every venture with unshakable confidence. And so you welcome pain, not as a curse, but as the gateway to a discipline that sustains you. You commit to it like an oath, knowing that each sacrifice compounds into a vault of inner liberty. You will look back one day and realize that the discomfort you once dreaded was the very currency that bought your emancipation. There is no path to a life unconstrained except through the furnace of hardship and the ritual of relentless discipline. Step into that fire and learn what it means to be truly free. They tell you comfort is a reward, a sign you've made it. They package it in fancy terms: work, life balance, self, care, rest days, and present it as the pinnacle of success. But here's the truth they're hiding. Comfort is a cage disguised as a sanctuary. Every time you settle into softness, you shrink your world. The plush chair that cradles you at night is the same one that lulls your ambition to sleep. The easy routine you cling to becomes the walls that define your limits, and those walls grow higher with every excuse you whisper to yourself. You justify the surrender by calling it well deserved. You earned a break, you say, so you deserve to coast. But coasting is the express lane to oblivion, while you lull yourself with indulgences, scrolling through feeds, binging shows, waiting for one day to chase that goal. The world moves on without you. Comfort doesn't pause your life, it fast forwards it into insignificance. The life you imagined slipping through your fingers is replaced by the dull certainty of good enough. And before you notice, the spark of possibility has flickered out. Look around. The halls of power and the pages of history were never built by those who valued comfort over conquest. Empires rose on the backs of people who embraced the cold morning air, who chose the plank over the pillow, who traded the safety of the known for the unknown frontier. Comfort didn't build Rome, it came later, when the swords were sheathed. Comfort didn't discover new worlds, it arrived on the ship when the sails were furled. Those who chase comfort first never taste the thrill of creation or the sweetness of triumph. Comfort is a deceptive currency. You spend it eagerly. Late nights in bed, half-hearted workouts, safe job choices, and think you're winning, but each moment of ease is a withdrawal from your potential. You bleed away reserves of resilience, ambition, grit. You become a collector of might-have-beens, an observer of other people's victories rather than the architect of your own. The real cost isn't measured in dollars or hours. It's measured in the person you could have become but never bothered to chase. Pain is the warning sign. The first time you feel restless in a routine, jittery in your comfort zone, that is your inner titan screaming to be unleashed. You feel it in your chest, a low hum of dissatisfaction. That itch you scratch with more cushion and convenience only grows louder. The only way to silence it is to break the mold, to embrace movement, challenge, discomfort. You must swap the soft bed for the cold floor, the warm cup for the icy shower, the easy path for the steep climb. Only then does comfort lose its allure and reveal itself as the trap it always was. When you choose discomfort, when you lace up your shoes for a dawn run, when you dive headfirst into unknown territory, when you push your body and mind beyond yesterday's borders, you reclaim a part of yourself that comfort stole. You steal back your agency. You prove to your own reflection that you refuse to be tamed by softness. The more you willingly endure, the less power comfort holds over you. You cultivate a mind that craves challenge instead of craving calm, a spirit that thrives in chaos instead of choking in ease. Comfort manufacturers, advertisers, corporations, even well-meaning friends sell you gadgets, shortcuts, memberships, subscriptions, all promising to smooth out your life. They frame ambition as stress, effort as torture, growth as a burden. But the most valuable experience in life isn't a massage or a vacation. It's the moment you stand victorious over adversity. That surge of pride and potency does not come from lounging in luxury. It comes from knowing you built something real with your own hands and your own will. Remember this, a life hemmed in by comfort is an empty life. The reclining chair never brags, the autopilot never astonishes, and the routine never revolutionizes. You are not here to conserve energy. You are here to expend it, to invest it in the greatest asset you have, your own evolving greatness. Every time you refuse comfort, you grow. Every time you reject ease, you expand. And one day, when you look back, the cage you tore apart will be the same one everyone else is still trapped in, wondering why their life never broke free of ordinary. So when the velvet cushion beckons and the sweet lull of enough whispers in your ear, remember that comfort is not a reward. It's a prison cell door that clicks shut behind you. Choose the hard road, choose the challenge, choose the path that bruises your body, tempts your mind, and ignites your spirit. Because once you break free of comfort's cage, you will understand the exact meaning of freedom, and nothing will ever be able to hold you back again. True dominance doesn't start when you're handed a trophy or when someone crowns you the best. It begins the moment you refuse to give your mind a single excuse. Every time you hide behind traffic, lack of sleep, or a bad day, you hand over your power. You train your mind to look outward for reasons to fail instead of inward for reasons to prevail. Excuses are the asylum for the lazy, the safe harbor where your ambition goes to drown. but champions don't anchor there. They sail into the storm and learn to harness the winds. When you wake up at an hour most people won't even consider, while the world is still draped in darkness, you send a clear message to your own psyche. Comfort is negotiable, but commitment is sacred. That first moment of defiance, when the alarm screams and your finger hovers over snooze, that instant is the battleground. If you allow yourself to capitulate there, the rest of the day will be a string of surrenders. But if you rise, not because you feel like it, but because you owe it to your future self, you set the tone. You condition your mind to honor its promises, to own its decisions, and to refuse any excuse under the sun. Self-mastery means owning the narrative in your head. It means catching the lazy whispers. Skip the workout, you're tired. Eat that junk, life's too short. Postpone your plans until you're in the mood. And then answering each one not with negotiation, but with an absolute refusal. You become your own drill sergeant, your own watchdog. You inspect every thought for weakness, every motive for cowardice, and you crush them before they can take root. This relentless internal odd, it is how you build a fortress around your ambition. No cracks for doubt, no loopholes for escape. Excuses are seductive because they feel like relief. I can't today sounds kinder than I must do this. But that brief relief is a debt you pay tenfold with regret, mediocrity, and the gnawing awareness that you let yourself down. The real relief, the genuine peace, comes when you stare your excuses in the eye and dismantle them piece by piece. You say, I am not controlled by whim or weakness. I act because I decide to act. And in that declaration, you reclaim your agency. You are no longer a passenger in your own life. You are the pilot. Mastery over your mind also means mastering your environment. You remove distractions that whisper in your ear, replace toxic patterns with rituals that sharpen you, and surround yourself with reminders of your own standards. You don't wait for a perfect setting. You create conditions where excuses can't survive. Your workspace isn't dictated by comfort. It's engineered for focus. Your diet isn't driven by cravings. It's designed for performance. Your social circle isn't a comfort zone. It's an alliance of fellow warriors who demand excellence. There will be days when your body aches, when your energy dips, when life throws you curveballs that make excuses feel almost reasonable. Those are the moments that define you. When fatigue claws at your bones, you don't surrender. You embrace the fatigue as proof you're pushing boundaries. When setbacks slice through your plans, you don't retreat. You view them as data, as fuel to refine your strategy. Every crisis of will is an opportunity to assert, no excuse will break me. And each time you insist on action rather than apology, you expand the territory of your self-mastery. Dominance isn't a destination, it's a standard you maintain every waking second. It's the quiet satisfaction that you never asked for easy, that you never pleaded for help, that you never cowered before a challenge. It's the fire in your chest that burns brightest when the world tries to douse it. You become the person who commands respect, not by coercion, but by an unshakable reputation for following through. Others learn that when you give your word, you deliver, no matter the obstacle, no matter the excuse waiting to be uttered. So stop bargaining with yourself. Stop designing elaborate justifications for staying stagnant. Realize that every excuse is a promise broken, and every broken promise chips away at your confidence. Decide instead that your word is ironclad, that your actions are your covenant, and that nothing, no traffic jams, no fatigue, no outside force, can override your commitment. True dominance isn't bestowed by circumstances. It's claimed by the person who demands nothing less than complete self-mastery.